Hello, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching from. And if it's just my mom watching, hello. My name is Lauren Petrullo. I'm the CEO and founder of a digital marketing agency based in Orlando, Florida called Mongoose Media. We work with a lot of clients in the Facebook advertising space. We do high volume PPC and Facebook ads. And we work with a lot of Shopify store owners, a lot of lead generation clients that come seeking questions about how to advertise on Facebook in 2022. Well, as someone who oversees millions of dollars of advertising every year, wanted to come share some of the times when you should not advertise with Facebook. We do connect with new small businesses all the time. And what we have found more helpful than not is when we let a small business know that right now they have some things that they might want to review before getting into Facebook ads and investing in a Zuckerberg data tax. Facebook ads is a very, very profitable engine for your advertising and marketing budgets and campaigns when done correctly. And so, what we're going to go into today's YouTube learning Facebook ads lesson and your lunch with me is going to be going over when not to do Facebook ads, because sometimes it's not the best bang for your buck. And sometimes you want to spend a little bit more time and energy in putting together your marketing campaigns than just, going ham on Facebook ads, because you've read, that Facebook ads is a totally great source of cold traffic to your site, that it's a cost-effective solution of finding new customers and new prospects to engage with your business when compared to other media channels. But let's be clear, it is not the end all be all. There is a cog in the wheel that is Facebook advertising. There is no such thing as magic with Facebook ads. Like, you have to remember, there's no instant snap, instant magic wand for your business. This is a tactic which, when worked correctly, when worked efficiently with the rest of your campaigns and marketing engines, can absolutely do wonders for your business. But like with all media channels, there is a level of control that you can have on the ecosystem. So you need to understand that you have to synchronize yourself with Facebook policies and guidelines, procedures, rules, all of that jazz before you can have a cohesive marketing system. So what we're going to talk about today specifically are those 5 opportunities when it's not cost effective for you to introduce Facebook ads into your marketing channels. So if you're watching, hello. And video is not there. Okay, I hope the video is showing now. If that's not the case, well, thank you for letting me know. Rishi will download this and upload it later, because I'm using Restream.io, something that my friend who's there has recommended. And, sometimes software isn't the best. But what we have right now is when not to do Facebook ads, because sometimes it's not better to launch Facebook ads. And in today's little lunch and learn, we're going to go over the 5 most common reasons that we find small businesses, and actually, in fact, some larger ones. We do work with 7- and 8-figure e-commerce and lead generation organizations, and even they are missing some of these foundational pieces, in which we tell them they are not quite ready for Facebook ads. So first and foremost, one that we say is your house is not in order. If you're running ads yourself, this is something you need to make sure is done. If you are working with an agency like ours or other agencies, you want to be mindful that your house may be disorganized. And what does that mean? There's business.facebook.com is the home, the city in which all of your assets need to live in. So if you have a home in Orlando, Florida, which is where I am based, and your Facebook page is in San Francisco, your Instagram page is in the Philippines, your Pixel is in Canada, where those agencies or contractors or other people may have housed those resources in various business managers, you can imagine how inefficient it would be to have all your properties in different cities or countries. So we want to make sure your house is in order. And one of the biggest ones is making sure that everything lives inside your business manager. So you want to have your Facebook page, your Instagram page, as well as your pixel and domain verified inside your business manager before you start running ads. Your pixel ideally will live with inside your business manager, but most of the times when individuals are running ads, the ad account may not live inside your business manager, but that's totally okay. Those are decisions you'll make with your media buyers, but you should never, ever have your Facebook page and your Instagram page and your domain live outside of you, the small business owner's business account. If you don't have a business account, you can go to business.facebook.com and you'll be able to create a business manager. Just as a heads up, absolutely, we will have this PowerPoint available. We are uploading it to our website, Mongoose Media. .us/YouTube-resources. You'll be able to download this PowerPoint as well as an additional cheat sheet of notes and stuff we've taken that are not in this PowerPoint, but as something you can print out, have on your desk anytime you are connecting with a client that's interested in doing Facebook ads, or you're engaging with employing Facebook ads yourself. So a little cheat sheet for you. Not live yet, but they will be. Promise. So, but it'll be at mongoosemedia.us/YouTube-resources. So yeah, one component is not having your Instagram or Facebook page inside your own business manager, or even further, you don't even have your business manager set up. Each account does get 2 business managers. As a Facebook agency, we have already used Arts 2. So I can't, even for clients that want us to introduce a new business manager for them, that is something the business owner should always create. And it's the ecosystem for you to be a media buyer to most appropriately follow Meta's terms of services and terms and conditions. So you want to attach, if you're building ads for that client, you want to associate those ads to this home, this city, this Orlando, Florida of business assets, which is the business manager. So you want to make sure you have your business manager set up that also has your Facebook and Instagram pages inside of it. A lot of times we work with small business owners that maybe had a cousin, a nephew, a grandson, a neighbor, a contractor they hired off of Fiverr or Upwork, set up Instagram pages or set up Facebook pages. And then it takes a lot of work rallying all of those assets back into your business manager home. And that is something that you want to do and protect yourself. Another component is if you don't have a Meta pixel on your site, or even further, you don't yet have a website. In order to run Facebook ads, you do need to have a Facebook page and an Instagram page profile in which those ads can live from. Because when you're advertising on social media platforms like Facebook, like Instagram, you have to know that you are advertising representing as a brand, not as a company. And what's that difference? As a brand, you've installed trust with your customers. There is so much more of an investment than a company that can pop up one day and disappear overnight. You're building brands, you're building conversations, you're building equity. Therefore, you need a Facebook page and Instagram ad account, or excuse me, an Instagram page, or you won't be able to run ads. Similarly, if you have not had a website, where is that transaction going to occur? I mean, yes, technically you can run ads without a website. I just don't recommend it. This is the time where if you're looking to use a platform that provides the most cost-effective traffic compared to most other marketplaces in which you can advertise on, or channel distributions, Facebook is bar none one of the best tools to use. But if you don't have a website, you're not ready for Facebook ads. And I don't recommend investing in what some people call the dummy tax, because you are going to find that without a website, people aren't going to believe in your brand. They're going to think you're a company that can pop up today and disappear tomorrow. So you want to make sure you have a website. There are resources in which you can create free websites. If you're using an e-commerce company, we always recommend Shopify. And then if you're doing a lead generation or building another type of service like a local business, WordPress is a really great solution. But you want to make sure that you have a website. You want to make sure you have a Facebook or Instagram page. And then you want to make sure you have that Meta pixel on your website. Ways that you can do it, a bonus tip is download the Meta Chrome extension. So if you're using Google Chrome as your internet, your website hosting, gosh, I don't even remember what that word is called, but as your browser, it's called the Facebook Pixel Helper. It might have been renamed to the Meta Pixel Helper by the time you're watching this, but it's an easy Chrome extension that you can click on it, and it allows you to check with a green box if that pixel is on your site. You want to make sure you have a meta pixel on your site because there's two ways in which the Facebook ecosystem or meta ads ecosystem can track conversion behavior, as well as get that robust amount of information for website visitors and ideally customers and subscribers, is using the browser data. And so you need to have that cookie. So that cookie is a meta pixel. You install it on your website. Again, if you're using Shopify or WordPress, thousands of videos out there, really easy installs, but those are things you want to make sure you have in place before you turn on any budget with Facebook ads. The next component that we find really important for small businesses and media buyers to review before setting up Facebook ads is making sure that you have a system in place for follow-up. A lot of times we will audit Facebook ad accounts and find that all of this stuff was set up. The offer is great. The copy is good. The creative is outstanding and thumb stopping, but nothing happens after the user follows the action you ask them to do on the ad. They go to your website, there's no place for them to subscribe, or you capture their email and you don't connect with them in any shape or form. You want to make sure that when you're asking your user or your prospect customer to engage on your site or to engage with your ads, that you have the next steps already mapped out. The last thing you want to do is invite someone over for a party and not turn on the lights, not have the door open, not have anyone inside to actually let them in. Think of someone who's showing up for trick-or-treating. They're coming to your house, lights on, you've got Halloween decorations everywhere, and then no one answers the door. Your house can and likely will get egged. That's the same kind of situation that we see a lot when we audit ad accounts. Everyone spends so much time and energy in building an outstanding ad that gets a lot of social engagement, and then they just forget the follow-up. So do not forget the follow-up. You want to make sure that you have some automated email response. If they purchase, great. Thank them. Let them know their purchase is on the way. If they're subscribing to your ecosystem, awesome. We've got your email. So excited. Here's the resource you specifically asked for. Hey, heads up. We're going to be reaching out in the next few days to help you learn even more about this. When you go to mongoosemedia.us/YouTube-resources, you'll see that there's going to be a lead form. And when you sign up, you'll get access to the vault of this YouTube and then all future and past YouTube presentations that we've created. We will keep them in that resource library. But when that's live and you go on there, you give your email, great. You're going to get an automatic reply that says, awesome. Welcome to the YouTube resource library, the vault, what have you. Have at it. Let us know if there's any other content you want to see or any additional resources we can provide to you to help you learning how to run Facebook ads. Other components that are really hard that I go into when I see ad accounts that weren't ready for spend on Facebook is that they haven't set up their remarketing lists. While Facebook and Instagram are outstanding platforms for finding targeted, interested individuals in your company, people aren't setting up their marketing. Yeah, really low CPMs. Like you can get your assets in front of 1,000 people for under $20, sometimes under $10. But if all you're doing is cold and you don't set up the remarketing list, you're letting like 80% of that continued engagement. We know it takes multiple touch points for someone to know, like, and trust your brand. So make sure you set up your remarketing list. We will have a special dedicated own Lunch and Learn specifically on how do you build your remarketing list inside Facebook ads, at least how we are doing it in 2022. I believe that's next week or the week after. But you want to make sure that you set up your remarketing list so that you're capturing that data and that you're following through with the engagement. Look, follow-up is important after the user has followed through with what you asked them to do, but it's also follow-up to remind them. Because, sometimes we're forgetful. Sometimes we're distracted. Sometimes we see a really cute puppy video and it takes all of our attention away from the amazing information you were going to provide us. Another component is that similar to the follow-up, you want to make sure that you have engagement with them. You want to connect them and continue with your brand. The most famous marketing case that I know of from when I was in undergrad was where we talked about how it's 7 times more expensive for a bank to acquire a new customer than it is to make sure that customer continues banking with them. In that kind of system, you just want to plan yourself out for engaging with them. And what I have specifically here is rewarding or delighting them for leaving the Meta ecosystem. A lot of our ads that are most successful are taking them off of Meta properties like Facebook, like Instagram, and driving traffic to our website. So we want to reward, delight, and engage someone in a way that they're like, wow, this is great. How much longer can I stay and consume resources? We know that on LinkedIn, the average individual consumes about 5 minutes worth of content on that social media platform a week. On Instagram or Facebook, that can be 6 to 12 hours a day. So you want to take as much of that attention as you can and have them focused and learning all about you, your brand, and what else you have to offer. So you want to reward and delight them for following through on your ask of, hey, let me interrupt you really quickly, of looking through all these engagement photos, looking through posts about the Jubilee in the UK, and come check out my website. Come check out these resources that I think are going to be super valuable for you. So you want to reward them for following through on what you ask them to do. The third recommendation we have of when you should not run Facebook ads for your business is when you're using Facebook ads to solve a much bigger problem in your business. Maybe you have not had your first $100 in sales. Maybe you've tried a bajillion and a half things and you've heard Facebook and Instagram ads are the solution. That's shiny object syndrome. But in truth, possibly your offer or your hook are sloppy. They are not set up in a place where you're going to be successful on Instagram and Facebook. I recommend that if you have not had your first $100 in sales, even if your cousin, best friend, sister aren't at least spending $100 and investing in you as a small business owner, wait till you get that first before you start investing into Facebook ads. It's not the only option for reaching consumers, customers, and subscribers. There are lots of alternative social channels that may work for you. You want to prove your product. Scott Cunningham in the e-commerce certificate with Digital Marketer talks about this extensively, having product fit, having market fit. So you want to make sure that you've already proven user engagement and interest in what you have before you throw a lot of money inside Meta, because Meta will take it. Facebook Ads Manager is ready for you to spend what we work for is a goal of $20,000 a day in ad spend. That's every client that we take on. That's our own internal goals. So you just want to make sure that before you spend a lot of money in your Facebook ad process, that you've explored other organic avenues that can be lucrative. And as soon as you have explored those other avenues, absolutely, Facebook is where you go in and you scale. Facebook is where you can find new opportunities and have a controlled outcome of predictable sales and predictable subscribers. Our fourth reason when you should not run Facebook ads yet is when you do not have the money or resources to write it all off as a test. The learning tax, the dummy tax, the investment into data, whatever that is, you need to make sure that you have a budget and time set up for these to fail. If you don't, if you're like, oh, this is my last dollar, I hope and pray that it will work, you're totally not in the position to start running Facebook ads. You want to make sure that you've allocated budget for the worst case scenario, that it totally flops. 70 to 80% of all cold ads are going to naturally flop. It's a testing environment in which you're finding the right offer and audience for alignment towards your products or services. So you need to make sure that you have a runway. The recommended runway that we have is at least $10 a day in a 90-day testing period. I'm sure if you've hired an agency or you're looking at hiring an agency, you're tired of hearing, well, it depends, or I need time and you need budget. But it's true. We manage millions of dollars in ads every year for our clients. And if you're looking at exploring having an agency come with you and they do not tell you this, run. You want to make sure that you know that there's a testing ecosystem. Potentially you've had already proven process. Maybe in pre-iOS, it was working for you. But if you're coming in and you're like, I'm going to spend $1 a day and make millions, it's possible. Absolutely. Unicorns exist in some capacities, but you want to make sure that you have a runway and do not start running Facebook ads if you've not set that in place. Again, we recommend $10 a day, and that's really $10 a day per audience because there are rules within the ecosystem. You want 50 conversions in a 7-day period. And so you can build budgets backwards. And what's great, amazing about the meta ad ecosystem is you can get data within hours. It's not, you run a Super Bowl commercial for $600 million or whatever astronomical number it is to get a 1-minute commercial. You don't have to wait for that data, you get it right away. It starts populating within hours of that ad going live. And you can make decisions based off of that data. So that's why Facebook ads is a great solution, but it's not a solution for you if you do not have the time, energy, or resources that will specifically give you the opportunity to make decisions from that data. Again, assume any investment that you make, both the ad budget and the ad management budget, if you are hiring someone to help you out with this, can all be for $0 in purchases, but a whole lot of data and insights. Now, if you do have that investment and it does have that absolute fail, because it does sometimes happen, like we've got great accounts that we can scale from multiple six figures to 7 and 8 figures a year. We've done it. But we've also worked with smaller businesses where like we couldn't get the right product fit. So this is where we're sharing times that we wish we potentially hadn't explored taking on clients, or things that we have now set into place before we will even take a call and consider if they're a good fit for us as a team. Is you want to make sure you have this runway and you're mentally prepared for it failing. Conversely, things that we have seen multiple times when we've been able to find great success with our return on ad spend with some clients is that they actually haven't mentally equipped themselves for success. One of our clients thought they were reverse robbed. They'd never seen so much money inside their bank account after running some ads, and they like literally thought someone reverse robbed them. So decisions that were made from companies that we have seen that type of success have been investing in avenues that they wouldn't have prepared for before. It's just something to be mindful that you want to go into this investment cautiously, that you understand where you're putting your money and that what are the outcomes you can prepare for. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that's not my quote. That was in The King. Will Smith said it as the Williams sisters' dad. And I love that because it so aptly applies. If you're not mentally prepared for what this investment is and you're just like, let's hope this works. I mean, that might work. It totally might work. It has, but not with the predictable outcome that we can say after managing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So be prepared and understand that it requires money, it requires time, resources for this to be an avenue. Because if this is something for your business and you're considering your business a hobby right now, then you can invest in Facebook ads, but Facebook ads can provide serious returns. So, give it the respect and resources and time to build that out to a predictable and profitable channel for your business. The last thing that we recommend and caution against before running any Facebook ads for a business is that the business owner or the media buyer doesn't understand the rules of engagement. Talked about it a little bit today and explained that there are rules. Meta is, the end all be all villain. Mark Zuckerberg is the one that's in front of Congress. He's the data villain of every ad buyer's hero story. He's not the only company collecting data. There's all these other channels, but he has become the platform in which everyone, reviews and assumes that it's only him. It's not. So in order for them to protect themselves, there's of course rules of engagement, including terms of services. Oh, hello, Gabe. So you want to be mindful that you understand the terms of services. There are a lot of policy violations. We work with supplement brands all the time. I don't know many people who understand how many ads have been disqualified because they violate some policy or they just need to be reviewed again. Meta is going to default to it being incorrect, and you need to apply for a review. We've worked with disabled accounts. We've worked with unapproved ads. There's lots of that stuff, and it's an endurance race, especially if you're working with more sensitive products. And there are a whole slew of like 25 rules in commerce account. If you're a Shopify store and you're an e-commerce brand, you want to know, one, are your products allowed to be sold on Meta? There are products you can't sell. You cannot sell MLM networking opportunity. You can sell training on how to be better as a multi-level marketer or a network marketer, but you cannot sell the opportunity to join an MLM network. You cannot sell products that contain animal byproducts. So you can't sell stuff with egg. You can't sell stuff with eggs. You can't sell stuff with snail mucin. You can't sell stuff that contains bee venom. So for a lot of beauty products, that there are products that you can't include in your advertising. Also, CBD, sexual based products. There are very, very strict rules that you need to navigate before you can determine if you're able to run ads on the platform. There's, of course, obvious ones like you cannot sell people. There's things that you cannot violate in terms of legal or illegal stuff. Hence why CBD is such a very sensitive topic with regards to Facebook ads. You can absolutely advertise a CBD brand, but you can't necessarily sell the products. You can advertise solutions. You can advertise content that is useful for your end market. And you have to build a bit more of a funnel. Facebook avenue of ads is great for building those funnels when you are compliant with the terms of services. These are like 3 pages of printed docs. Print them out. Look at them. I personally, in our agency, we have a quarterly review of what those terms of services are. And, Facebook ads changes all the time. That's why if you're looking to scale and grow your e-commerce or lead generation solutions in a way that's predictable and profitable at scale, you'll want to work with a team that is inside the Facebook ads ecosystem day in, day out and understands and mitigates the changes that's always going on. We have audience restrictions. We have new policy changes that sometimes allow us to advertise products that previously weren't allowed. But you want to make sure that you understand, one, are your products or services compliant? 2, are your ads falling into any special categories? If you're in housing, if you're like real estate agents, destination sales, like that's a big category. There's legal restrictions within the Meta ecosystem that you want to make sure that you know and understand before you're investing, $10, $500, or up to $20,000 a day. And then you also want to be mindful of violating language or discriminatory practices. If you're advertising in different countries, that can absolutely play into it. We don't do anything with France. We have we will not advertise in France. We will not work with brands that are based in France, because France has a whole set of advertising rules that is very different. But there's things you need to be mindful of. And while you don't need to be a lawyer, you don't need to be a legal expert to know CCPA, GDPR, and all the things in between. I mean, it's great to have legal counsel and representation of understanding it. But first and foremost, do not invest in Facebook ads if you're not going to at least read the policies, because you will get your accounts disabled. You can get your account banned from ever having ads again. And you can cost yourself way more in the long run if you don't take the time to read a few of these items that Facebook and Meta set you up for success. They want you to spend money on their platform. So they give you resources to understand how and what can be advertised. They also have a great support system, depending on how much you engage with the platform. Like, we're agency reps, so we do have direct people that we can reach out to, as well as chat, so we can get out to a team with VIP support. But if you are not yet at that ad spend level, there are still email resources available. Meta doesn't want you to fail. They want you to invest in the platform. So you just need to understand the rules of engagement, and that also just in the scheme of where Facebook ads fit into your product or service delivery, that you know that this is not the end all be all single solution for your business. This is a cog in a wheel. There's a convoluted process in which a consumer can make consideration to the buy. You want to help navigate on their way. There's 7, 22, and I've heard recently 500 touch points before someone might consider investing with your brand. And it can be investment. We sell stuff as high as $3 million on Facebook ads. Those are serious investments, and someone's decision process or cycle before making that purchase can be quite large, or it can be small. So you just want to understand that this is a cog in the wheel. The way that Facebook system is set up, like other channels, have specific attribution windows. You cannot track purchases within the Facebook ads platform that exceeds the 7-day window. Once upon a time, you could do up to 28 days. Other platforms like Google, 90 days. But you just need to understand that this is a cog in the overall marketing wheel, that there's a possibility that you can invest all this money and not get a single purchase or subscriber. And you need to be okay with that. If you are not, I do not advise you investing into Facebook ads for your business. Not yet. These are just some of the top 5 things that we see and we recommend before we take on clients, before we provide any consulting on how they can get out of Facebook jail at times. it can be costly if you don't review these things or don't take into consideration, because the worst thing you want to do is invest $500 a day or $50, $5 a day, and you don't even have a meta pixel on your website in which you can re-engage with those people who've already raised their hand. You found them, you've interrupted their feed, you've got them excited, they want to learn more, they've raised their hand by clicking and following the instructions you provide in the ad, and then fail to follow up. So again, my name is Lauren Petrullo. I'm really grateful for anyone that watched this, and like super excited to see some friends engaging on LinkedIn. You guys are awesome. Seriously, thank you so much. Happy to help if you have any additional questions. This PowerPoint, as well as a cheat sheet that we made with some additional notes that I may or may not have covered, because I tried not to look too far at the notes, will be made available at mongoosemedia.us/YouTube-resources. If you don't see it now, it will be coming in the next few days. So just reach out to me, connect with us at mongoosemedia.us. And thanks everyone so much. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers.